Hi there, everybody. I'm Kristen Poborski, and today I'm going to share with you new insight into the 80-20 rule of content creation. Now, I know you might be thinking that you already know about the 80-20 rule, but today I'm going to dive deeper into the framework and AI, how this is going to make it all different, which I call the framework I'm going to teach inside of this content, the content to cash machine framework. This makes it fast and it helps you create content that's going to meet your ideal client right where they are and grab their attention. So, if you are a business coach, a life coach, a healer, or a course creator who has a graveyard of non-converting content or none at all, you're going to want to stick around and I'll show you exactly how this works and what content is missing inside your content. What is missing inside your content that is causing it to go into that graveyard and how to get out of it. So let's dive into it. So what if I just told you that 80% of your content results comes from 20% of your efforts? Now, you might think that sounds too good to be true, but now with AI, it's easier and easier, especially with automations and things like that, and AI helping you to create content. But here's the kicker. If you don't get the input right into your content, like what goes into the content, if you're just dumping some AI random prompt in there, or you're just typing in, help me write a blog post or a script on this topic, you're missing. And that you might think, okay, that's great. But you're going to end up just like I did years ago when I would hire people to write my content for me. It ended up not sounding like me, and my audience, it didn't meet them where they are, and it didn't have all of the things in it that I needed to engage with my audience. So let me tell you a story here. And I think that this will help you understand how you can create more impact with less content and save hours while doubling your results. All right. So let me talk to you about Todd Creager. He's a therapist with an incredibly busy practice. And like many of you, he thought he didn't have time for content creation. He was overwhelmed just trying to maintain his practice with a high demand of people who wanted to work with him. And when we met a long time ago, it's been over a decade that we have been creating content together, he was not making a whole lot of money in his practice. And he didn't have a waiting list of people wanting to work with him. What we found was with content, this was a great way to find his audience and meet them right where they are. And what changed when we started doing this is that instead of trying to create content for social media every single day, we focused on creating one high quality, we did blog posts to begin with. And then a couple years later, around 2015, we started creating one high quality video per week. And recently, just in the last month, and he's still doing it today, we just did a video on micro cheating, a topic that he knew his audience needed to hear about. So you might be asking, okay, I get it. I know I need to be creating content, but what's the secret sauce that keeps his content alive and working for him versus mine that gets little to no engagement? Now, I'm going to go back to 2015. He has a video. It's called 7 Signs That You Came From a Dysfunctional Family. This piece of content still gets a ton of views every single month. And it has gotten almost 600, I think around 585,000 views. Okay. So he also has, and I'm going to take you right through this piece of content. I'm going to talk about it again. He has right now on his YouTube channel, and I believe also on his podcast, because we repurpose everything, a video called How Cheating Cheats the Cheap Cheater. This one was done back in 2020, and And I just looked in the last 30 days, it's gotten over 1,600 views. Okay. So you're wondering, okay, what's so great about his content and what am I missing? So let's talk about it, because this is what I have coined the phrase, the content to cash machine framework. And this is exactly what Todd puts into his content. And this is what I teach inside of my AI content masterclass and inside of my 12X content creation programs. Okay. This one framework, and you might want to grab a piece of paper and write it down as we go through it. Okay. Because this is the secret sauce. So the first thing that we do is we focus on topics that address a big problem that his audience is. Okay. I call this client clarity. And we created this with the help of AI to do the research and create a buyer's blueprint or a custom buyer's blueprint of what his audience is struggling with. What are their pain points? What are their hopes, dreams, desires? We do this for every category that he has, that he creates content around, okay? And we call this client clarity, this blueprint. So once we have that in place, then we make sure that whatever pieces of content he is going to create aligns with what he's doing in his business. And we call this content and commerce alignment. That's why his older content is still working for him. When we've tried to do random content or topics that are non-evergreen or thought pieces that is just his thought, doesn't work. Case in point again is that one that I just talked about, why cheating cheats the cheater. This addresses his hottest content category, which is infidelity. And let me tell you, people are willing to pay big bucks to work with him to solve this problem. And again, this was created way back in 2020. And the past 30 days, it got 1,600 views. Now, we've got some other new topics like micro cheating and things like that. We discovered new topics, new phrases, things like that, and we talk about that. Okay? So this is the power of those two things plus this third ingredient. This is the secret sauce. He tells me every single week that people not only watch his videos, but more of them, not just one. And this same thing with his podcast. They watch one and then they want to watch more. And then they pick up the phone and call him. And that's where we bring this all together. So let's dive into the why people call him, pick up the phone. What is in his content that gets people to take action that your content might be missing? And that's called storytelling. So when he tells story in his content, and he's a master at it, he explains his results in a way by sharing stories. Now he's a therapist, so he doesn't use the same names of the people in his content. He changes the names and things like that. But he does it in such a way that taps into the emotions of his audience. This is called content with connection. And this is the third step. This is one of the most important ingredients into the content to cash machine framework that I teach inside my master classes and in my courses. It includes storytelling. And again, if you don't do that, you're really missing it. So these are things that people don't talk about when they're talking about AI. If you want to have great AI content, you need that content to cash machine framework plugged into your business so that you know who your ideal client is, you know what their problems are, you know how to align it with your business, and you have storytelling baked right into your content. Those are the pieces that make your content that fall into that 80-20% rule, okay? So what we do then with that piece of content is we then repurpose it using the 12X AI content creation automation. From there, we create, we get the YouTube video, we turn it into a podcast, multiple social media posts, a blog post that goes right into his website, into his WordPress site as a draft and an email newsletter. That's how we drive traffic to his content. Not only does it get content from being out there on YouTube and on his podcast, but then we take that same content that we already know is working well out there and has all the story baked into it, and we bring it out and amplify it all across social media. And the results are, now always has thousands of views on his videos. He's got over 10,000 people on his YouTube channel. He has 1,000 subscribers and downloads on his podcast. He's got a multiple six-figure income, a waiting list. He charges premium rates and doesn't take insurance. And here's the kicker. Because we create this hot content, we know it's going to be hot because we've time and time tested these topics. So we know from our experience creating content that these are going to be winners. And we turn that into these multiple pieces of content in 30 minutes a week using AI. And again, if we hadn't had that content to cash machine framework and used it in his business, what we put into that machine and what came out would certainly go to that graveyard of content. So if you're ready to take your content graveyard and turn it into something that's going to work for you, I urge you to join me for my next AI Amplifier Masterclass. You're going to learn more about how that framework works, the content to cash machine frameworks, and how you can plug it into your business. And you're going to see these automations all working. And I'm going to teach you the framework behind why we created each one of those, how they work, how they can work in your business. So grab the link down below and sign up for the next AI Amplifier Masterclass, and we'll get you going so that you too can implement that content to cash machine framework in your business.